So those of you who know me, and those of you who don't, I'll just tell you, I'm not nervous. I have an essential tremor. It's the stupidest name for something ever. It's not essential at all. And it's moved a little bit to my chin these days. So if you see my chin tremble again, I'm not nervous. I just have lots of energy. So today's talk title is What Do I Do When I've Been a Jerk? It was a different title originally, but it's not Sunday church appropriate. So you can substitute what do I do when I've been a blank for your own self, whatever works for you. Jerk was the safest word for today. I'm gonna grab my water. Hang on just one second. Singing makes me thirsty. So I don't know about you, but I always want to be my highest and best, most spiritual self. And that doesn't happen. Because I'm a human being in a human body that has human experiences. And one of the things about being human that's so wonderful is feelings and emotions, reactivity or response. We have all these opportunities to be who we really are. And who we really are is a mix of everything. It's complicated to be a human. It's complicated to be in this meat sack, as some people call it. And so we get to just navigate how is it to be a spiritual being in a human body expressing in this life. And I fought for so long being human. I just wanted to be my highest, most spiritual self all the time. But we're here in a human body for a reason. The divine is experiencing all this stuff through us, as us. And sometimes that looks messy or not perfect and highest best. Sometimes it looks like we're being a jerk. So I like to differentiate between reaction and response. If I'm being reactive, I'm probably being a jerk, or insert your own word there. If I'm being responsive, I've done something to break the reactivity, to cut myself off from an instantaneous knee-jerk reaction and step a little deeper into my deeper truth of who I really am, a child of the one. Or I don't even like a child of the one, because we're not children, we're adults. So a part of the one makes better sense in my heart. So this morning is a great example. I have hundreds and hundreds of stories of when I've been a jerk. And it just happened again this morning. When I walk the dogs, I love walking the dogs in the morning. I get out, I get some fresh air, it's great. But what happens as soon as I get back in the house is I get drenched in sweat. I'm just a sweaty person. And as soon as I walk into the warm house from the cold air, I'm just rivulets running down my face and then on my chest. And when I'm hot, I get cranky. I'm an Aries, so I am already fire. And so when I get hot, I'm more fiery, which I really don't need. But it's just part of who I am. You know, this is my body. This is what happens in my body. I get drenched in sweat. And I also get cranky when I get drenched in sweat. When I get hot, I get hot. Makes sense, right? So I've said to my mom, who lives with us, and my lovely husband, who are both the soul of patience and kindness, just don't talk to me for a while in the morning. And often we're getting breakfast together, especially my mom and I. My husband's off to work early, but especially my mom and I. We're sometimes up around the same time and we're moving around the kitchen. And I've just said, I love you so much, just don't talk to me for a while till I cool down. Because otherwise I'm probably gonna be not so nice. And my mom is nothing if not the nicest person that I've ever known. So I don't want to be reactive on my lovely mother or my husband or anybody else for that matter. So this morning, my husband came in as I'm fixing breakfast. I've already walked and fed the dogs because I always attend to the dogs first, and then I'm making my breakfast. And he comes over and just so lovingly, how you doing this morning, honey? Caresses my sweaty, sweaty face. And I just looked at him and I said, don't. I said, I love you so much, just don't. Just walk away. And he then remembered, oh yeah, because he forgot. He just forgot. It's no big deal. He wasn't doing it to try to make me more agitated. He just loves me. And he's like, how's your morning going? I don't sleep great a lot. And so he was asking me almost every day, how did you sleep last night? And I said, it makes me feel more crappy when every day I have to report to you, I didn't sleep that well. Can you just not ask me? And then if I sleep great, I'll let you know. If I sleep great, I'll come out and go, guess what, honey? I got 3 hours in a row. It was awesome. I sleep a long time, but I wake up a lot. So anyway, so that's also contributes to my reactivity. So he knows about that. Don't ask me about my sleep. So I said this morning, don't ask me how I'm doing first thing in the morning, because generally first thing in the morning, I'm a grouch. I'm just a grouch. And then 20 minutes later, I'm fine. Just give me time. So I said, I want to get like a pin. If anybody knows where to get a pin, I want a pin that goes from green to red and gradients, and I can slide a little slidey thing. Red to blue, I like hot to cold. Yeah, I like red to blue, that's good. So hot to cold. So if I'm really feeling hot in many senses of the word, I can slide the little slidey thing over to hot, which just means don't talk to me right now. Not only for their sake, but for my own, so that I can just be how I am and not beat myself up for the way that I just seem to be in the morning, and then let it be. And then it goes. And in just coming out after I made my breakfast, I said, I need to go talk to my husband. I need to go say, I'm sorry. I need to atone for my reactivity this morning. So I went in the living room, and he was watching something on his phone, and he unplugged from that. And I said, I just want to apologize and acknowledge that I was, you came in so loving and kind, and I was a little short with you. Not as short as I could have been. I did have presence of mind to not be so short. But thank you for just honoring that. And he said, and I'm sorry, I forgot that in the morning, you just need your space. I used to live a long time ago. I had many roommates. I lived with lots of people. And I was the nauseatingly perky, cheerful person in the morning. Good morning, how you doing? It's great to see ya. And they were monosyllabic. Don't talk to me. And I never got it. I didn't get it when I was younger. Now I get it. Because I have my own, don't talk to me. Give me some time to wake up. It's not that I'm not awake. I just need time to cool off, to cool down. So I did this talk about a week or so ago at my house. It had a slightly different title, because at my house I don't worry about being recorded. But I typed into Google, just out of curiosity. I generally find quotes for my talks. And so I go to quotes, and then I'll say, a keyword, and then I'll get some lovely quotes. But I typed in the word I was using, and I got quotes about being one, not about how to not be one. So I typed into Google, what do I do when I've been a jerk? And right at the top of the page, first it said, find a therapist, which I love, which is a good idea. It's not a bad idea at all. I love that. But then there were some steps. They had 5, but I've condensed them down a little bit. And I'm going to share them with you, but you don't have to remember them, because I made copies. So at the end of all of this, you can take this home and stick it on your fridge or wherever helps you to remember, maybe your bathroom mirror. Just here are some good steps to do when I notice that I've been a jerk in any form of life, in any space of life. So the first one is breathe. So simple, right? But we forget that. When I'm reactive, I clamp down. I lock in and I clamp down, and I get defensive and reactive. So when I breathe, I just create some space. So breathe, calm yourself, and tolerate the unpleasant feelings. Oh, that's not easy. Just tolerate them. Don't try to do anything about it or make it be different or beat ourselves up. Tolerate the fact that I'm feeling unpleasantly uncomfortable right now. I have a recognition. I was a jerk. I'm going to defend that, but I don't need to. Just tolerate how I'm feeling in my body. And maybe then breathe again. Create a little more space. The second step, separate the behavior from your identity. I am not a jerk. I have been a jerk. That is not my identity. I am not claiming I am. I am a child, a divine spark of the one life. I am a divine being created by the one life that could have created a planet or a tree or a mountain and chose to create a you and a me by coalescing our atoms together, creating one of us. So we're here by divine appointment. Separate the behavior from your identity. Focus on learning about yourself. Oh, in the morning, I need space. I didn't know that. I was just grouchy in the morning for weeks before I finally was able to figure out, oh, it comes, it goes, it passes, let it be. And then focus on not punishing or shaming yourself. That was a go-to for me for such a long time. Shame. Feeling shame about how I've been or how I've reacted. Instead of choosing a response, I chose a reaction. I'm a terrible person. I was mean to the people that I love the most. That's not okay. I'm not okay. We've done enough of that. Let's let go of that and try something new. And the last step, be honest with yourself and take responsibility for your behavior, which is what I did this morning. I came in, I apologized, I took responsibility for my behavior. And to my credit, when he came in, hi, good morning, I love you. I said, back off. It's not about you. I love you. This is not about you. I was able to have the presence of mind in that instant because I've been practicing being aware of when I'm prickly, or spiky. I think spiky is even a better word, because when I'm spiky, I spike out on other people and poke them. More than prickly, I'm spiky. Spiky's little, right? Like, oh, it little prickles, but spiky's like, rah! And I can do that real fast. I can go hot to cold real quickly. A couple of people, many people that I know have said, I can't imagine you ever being really angry or really upset. I'm like, you just haven't been around me long enough. Because we're all like that. I'm guessing. Or maybe it's just me.
You're the only one.
I'm the only one? Okay. I'll go now. So when we recognize, oh, I was a jerk there. I was a jerk to that person in the grocery store. I was a jerk to that car that I cut off. Now, we can't go back and find the car we cut off and make amends to that person. What we can do is do breathing, calming ourselves, and not punish or shame ourselves for what we did. We can definitely do that. If we can't make amends to the person that we were being a jerk to, we can at least do the first few steps. And we can recognize and be honest with ourselves. Wow, I was kind of a jerk right there. And that's okay. As long as we grow from that experience, deepen in that experience, and not blame it on outside forces. I spent a lot of my younger life, especially my first marriage, blaming my feelings on the other person. You made me feel. You did this and it made me think that. That's not productive and did not make for a harmonious relationship. It made for a lot of conflict, and on both sides, a lot of resistance and a lot of defense. We've always had to defend our actions, defend our choices, defend our behaviors. Sometimes our behaviors are indefensible. We can just say, this is what happened. I did this, and on my part, I'm making amends here. I'm taking responsibility for my choices, my actions. Whatever you did is whatever you did. But this is what I'm taking responsibility for. My reactivity and my defensiveness, or my shame spiral. Because it's so quick and so easy for those things to happen to us. Does anybody else have that experience?
No.
Get out. we heard a great story about an unintended. My husband came out of surgery. Oh, he was cranky, and there was nothing I could do to get him to settle down. So I just left the room. I love you. I'm going to go down and walk around the hall for a minute, because he needed to express what he needed to express, but I also didn't need to be present for it, because it wasn't about me. It wasn't even about the other people in the room. He was waking up from anesthesia and was cranky. And he had stuff he needed to say and express. But did I need to be there for that? No. And I knew if I stayed in a space, I would be trying to fix it. That's the other interesting thing about when we've been a jerk. Either somebody else wants to try to fix us, or we want to try to fix us. How many of you love being fixed? No.
I think we should lobby for a self-expression room post-surgery.
Yes. I think that's a great idea, where you could like punch pillows and can't really do that though if you're coming out from surgery. At least yell, yeah. Yell with impunity. Yell with impunity. I, years ago when we lived in San Diego, said I want to create a space where people can go and smash things and not have to clean them up. And then I discovered that they already exist. There are what they call them breakables or break rooms, where you can go and smash stuff and somebody else will clean it up for you. And then there's a room after you smash all the stuff where you can go by yourself and just cry. Because usually when we want to smash stuff, then we want to cry after that. So there's like a cry room. So you could go and cry in private, get it all out of your system, and then leave. How many of you have ever wanted to like sweep off a desk before or throw things down the hall? Yeah. But every time I've ever wanted to do that, some little voice in me is like, nope, because I'm going to be the one who's going to have to clean it up, and I don't want to clean it up. One time in my life, I had a huge stack of papers in my hand, and something happened in my house, and we had a long hall, and I just started I'm going to heave these papers down the hall, and as I'm going, it felt like slow-mo. I'm bringing my hands back to heave this whole stack of things, and in my brain, it's going, no! But I did. I let go, and these papers just flew down the hall, and I was like, no! I'm going to have to, and I cleaned it all up later, because nobody will follow around and clean up our messes. Nobody else will clean up the broken shards of the crockery, just us. But sometimes we've got energy that has to be released, right? That's what that feeling is. We've got energy that has to be released. And where does it go? Punch a pillow. Throw a pillow at a blank wall, because the pillow won't get hurt. You won't get hurt. You don't want to hurt yourself or anybody else. So find a way. Go out and just stomp around in the yard. Find a place and find a way to get the energy out, to get the tension, the clamp down loosened up, so that we can then breathe, come back to ourselves, separate that behavior from who we thought we were. Who we are is beautiful and loving and kind and compassionate, patient, responsive. Let go of shame. Be honest. I was a jerk right there. And take responsibility. Simple steps. Not always easy to implement, powerful when we do. Take a breath. Think about a time that you were a jerk, maybe today, maybe last week, maybe 10 years ago, and just forgive yourself. Let go of the shame. Recognize what happened in that moment. I was reactive. I had a story in my head. I was believing something else about what was happening than was it what was actually happening. Give yourself grace. And separate that behavior and that event. Step into forgiveness for ourselves and for all of the humanity that's expressing. The world looks chaotic and looks crazy right now, but when hasn't it? When hasn't it? And the majority of human beings on the planet are good, kind, loving, helpful people, compassionate, accepting, caring people. We just get to see all the other stuff everywhere we look because that grabs eyeballs and has you spend money and has you be afraid, which has you spend more money and also feel like you're locked into the way that it looks like it is. But that's not the way that it is. The way that it is much bigger than that, much deeper than that, much more beautiful than that. So then we come to places like this, where you can feel the tangible love, where we are reminded to go forth into our coming week with a little more space, a little more grace, a little more of who we really are instead of who we think we are. I'm not the one I used to think I was. I'm not the one I think I am now. I'm not the one who thinks, oh wait, I am. I am the one that I am. Take a breath. Thank you for letting me come and play with you today. Come back if you can at 2 o'clock into the back room for our song circle. We'll do more a cappella singing. It'll be lovely. Bring a song if you have one to share, a simple, repetitive song. And thank you so much for being here today and for choosing love.